Good afternoon and welcome to Independence High School for the 2021 Chagrin Valley Conference Boys Soccer Media Day. I am Steve Hare with Ohio Varsity and the CVC Sports Information Director. Today we're going to have teams from throughout the conference here to kind of preview their season, talk a little bit about the boys soccer programs in the league, and then later this afternoon we'll turn over to the girls. And we've got some more CVC CVC previews coming up. We've got volleyball on the 15th. Football on the 15th, volleyball on the 16th, cross country on the 22nd. So we'll be out and about the next few weeks as the fall sports season gets underway. And first up today, we have Coach Buckley and the Cardinal Huskies. Coach, thanks for coming out today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your player and then kind of give us your elevator pitch, the Cardinal Huskies 2021. What can we expect to see?
Well, my player is junior. He's Justin Baker. This is his fourth season on the team, captain for 2 of those seasons. Phenomenal young man. Pretty much what we've worked on the last season over in the off season is we're redefining the program, working on a lot of communication and working on just developing a strong soccer program. Going into the season, we're working on, we have a little bit of a numbers issue, so that's going to be an ongoing thing with us that we're going to have to work through going into the season. 16 games that's a lot. It's going to be very taxing in a physical game like soccer, but we have some ideas on how we can kind of offset some of that. Other than that, man, it's just going to, have fun and play soccer.
You've battled that numbers issue going back to Coach Topalian, and even before him, the girls program. It used to be a co-ed program at Cardinal. Then the girls program went on their own. So the numbers issue is something that you're at least used to. So how have you kind of countered that? You know you're going to come in, and you know you're going to need bodies, and how do you kind of address that just even before you hit the field?
We actually started really just working with grassroots, man. We started. The high school recently took over our rec programs, so I've been working a lot. We started the rec programs, the village. We're having a lot of input into what goes on there. I spent a lot of time in the off season building, relationships with 3 different travel programs in our area. We're going to start working with those guys promoting that, and then we started making relationships with some club players or some clubs in the area. So really just going grassroots, man, working that middle school and trying to build it there and setting our standards. We got a lot of work to do, just reinventing the program, man. We want to play soccer, and it's really going to start in the middle school and work our way up. We got to redo that middle school team. We've had those for a long time. The last 2 seasons we couldn't pull it off because of numbers. We hit that wall again this year, but moving forward, I think it's going to be good. We had a strong community, man, and there's a lot of kids that want to play. They just haven't had the right opportunities, the right pathways to get to where they want to be. We're going to start there.
Justin, from a player's perspective, numbers don't matter to you. You're going to go out there with 11 guys on the field against their 11 guys. Just from your perspective, going out this season, what's it going to take for you guys to find some success?
I believe what it's going to take us is hard determination and the will to push forward. Just numbers in the end don't matter. It's the will to move forward. As long as you, as a team, you work together, you can achieve nearly anything.
The one thing Cardinal has had is, even though they've had a problem with numbers, you've had talent. So bringing guys, you have some of that. How do you kind of get those other younger players, the ones that are just kind of coming out learning soccer, to kind of be complementary forces behind the talent?
I think that like the last 2 seasons since I've been there, I don't think we've really had a true test and a real evaluation of what this team is. We have a lot of talent, man, a lot of athletic young men. It's just we just got to put it together, it's a battle. I mean, it's something that we're going to have to keep working on. The new guys coming in, some of them I've worked with in other travel programs and things like that, so there's a lot of potential there. It's pretty much So, you have a lot of new guys that know how to play soccer, but they don't have the experience that the older guys have. They don't have, you playing, freshmen. They don't have the build. They don't have the stamina. So you got to build that into the program, and that's going to be the fun part.
And then just again, from a player's perspective, what's it going to take for you guys just, 80 minutes every game just to get through that, even though you're going to be pushed to the limit physically? How do you guys feed your more talented players, and then how do those younger guys kind of learn from the upperclassmen that have played a while?
Playing those 80 minutes, it's going to be a challenge. Not everybody's going to be able to play that pure 80 minutes without any subs, but with good control, good mobility, and not constantly just running around the field, we can move it. And the more talented players, a successful pass and a pass around could, instead of draining stamina, it will increase their stamina, I believe. And the younger players, they can observe while making those good passes to improve, in my opinion.
And then, Justin, just everyone wants to win a state title. That should be on every team's goal. Everybody wants to win a league title. How are the Cardinal Huskies going to define success this season?
Just push the limits. We have low numbers, but I believe those low numbers mean nothing. I've seen teams in other shows, they've had low numbers or bad numbers, and they still push on and make good dreams, and dreams come true, and they worked.
Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Cardinal Huskies. Coach, I appreciate you guys making the trip out here, and good luck to you this season. Next up, we've got the Independence Blue Devils, the home team here at CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. Coach Ryan McRailed. Coach, I'm going to let you, same deal here, just kind of introduce the guys you brought with you and then give us your elevator pitch of the 2021 season.
Well, this is Casey McGee and Aiden Coljohn, two seniors on our team this year. And, we're looking to improve on last season. We were pretty young last year, so the mantra last season was growth, and we saw a lot of that throughout the year. So looking forward to picking up where we left off last season and getting a chance to really improve and make a statement again, get back into the winning ways with winning things in the league and in the district and things like that.
You talked a little bit about being young last year. Your team, every year, it's reload, reload, reload. Last year was a little bit of a reload, rebuild situation. And, it's kind of nice that now you bring back a lot of young guys that gain some valuable experience. How's that going to pay off this year?
Yeah, you could see a lot of the guys even in our sectional final or district semi against Smithville. Some of these young guys were out there against some of these men. You got 14-year-old kids playing against 18-year-old men, and you could just kind of see them grow on the spot. So it was really good. And even some of the guys like these juniors that get those experiences at playing in big games and just learning from experience.
Casey, you've been around the block. This is your fourth year on the varsity. You kick for the football team. You play basketball. You play baseball. So you're just one of those independence kids that the school thrives on, just a overly athletic kid that can kind of contribute in any role. Just from your perspective as a senior, what's this season going to take? How's it going to shake out?
I think it's going to be a good season. We have a good mix of our seniors, and then we have –
There we go. Go ahead.
We have a lot of seniors. We have 5 or 6 right now that will all be contributing from defense to offense. And then we have a lot of kids that fit in the midfield with that sophomore class, and I think we mix well together. I think a lot of practice together, just getting used to playing together, it'll really help out, and I think we have a good chance of having a really good season. You've
played with some really dynamic goal scorers, Sam Bielitz, Alec McDonald, several other guys this year and even last year. You're one of them. So how do you embrace that role?
I think it's great. I mean, just being able to be there for your team and helping your team out the way you can, just scoring when you can and trying to win games for your team.
Aiden, you're one of the young guys, but you've got plenty of experience now, again, playing multiple sports. The torch kind of gets passed every year. Sam Bielitz, Alec McDonald, to Casey McGee, and now you're going to be taking that torch a little bit. How are you embracing the role as you're no longer one of the new guys, you're a veteran?
I know I've been working in this off season, really, and I know my job for me, I'm at Casey. We got to put the ball in the net anytime we have the chance, and that's really how we're going to win games. We have a very solid defense. Got a lot of young guys, like they were saying. I think, 6 sophomores. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
And you guys have had a ton of success, winning league titles. You've been in that district championship game. Now you're ready to kind of take that next step as a program. And we were talking a little bit earlier about 45 kids in your youth camp, and that's kind of where it starts. But to get that immediate success, how do you get that next step?
Yeah, it comes out to the youth situation, and we've got some travel teams building up this year, a lot more kids involved. I got this youth camp coming up with a lot of interest from the community. So, I think it's a slow burn, but, football has always kind of been number one in this town as far as interest. But as a boys program for athletics, I think us, cross country, maybe even baseball, have been tops over the past few years. So I think that success and the foundation that the alumni have laid is really starting to pay off.
You guys, as a school, you've had so much success from both soccer teams getting to, districts or regionals. The basketball teams have played well. The volleyball team playing in state championship games year after year after year. Baseball and softball are competitive every year. How much does that play into where you just have a lot of athletes that you can mold into soccer players?
Yeah, it's nice to have athletes in the community, but it's also it's a lot of the hard work from when they're kids and working through community programs, rec, travel, and kids going on to club level things. The more you can do that, the better off. And I think we're starting to see that a little bit more and more. So it's been nice.
And Casey, you're pulling double duty this fall. You're kicking for the football team and also playing soccer. What's your first love?
I don't know.
Coach Adams is probably at home watching, so
yeah. Kicking's been going really good this summer, and it's fun. But then also just soccer. I love being out there competing in those games. I love just playing soccer games. It's really fun for me too. So.
Aiden, what's the intensity been like in practice so far?
I think we need to up it a little bit, but we're getting there. Like, we're pacing ourselves. We still got some time to prepare, and yeah.
When you look at, anyone can answer this, you look at last fall, how different things were with COVID. Not that we're out of the water here, but it's a little bit different. You're not, you don't have the mask mandate right now, but how different has it been, and has that kind of helped early in the season to get everybody on the same page?
I think it's makes things easier, but certainly, some of the limitations with like only coaching 9 guys at a time and things like that was a bit of a challenge, but being able to start with the full team for team camp and things like that'll pay off. And we have a full scrimmage schedule this year. Normally we only play 3, but we're going for the full 4 to really tweak and improve. So we're looking forward to see what the fall brings.
That's your Independence Blue Devils. Best of luck to you guys in the 2021 season. I'll see you quite a few times, but thanks for making the long trip out here, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Next up, we're going to have a couple of Kirtland Hornets. Coach Valentic could not make the trip, so we'll have these two guys fill in and act as Coach Valentic today. Why don't we start out, guys? Just go ahead and introduce yourself, give your class years and your positions, and let's start there.
Hello, I'm Raguz. I'm graduating this year, and I am holding midfield.
My name is Petar Magic-Brisic. I am graduating this year, 2022, and I play center midfield.
I don't know who wants to take the first one, but just the elevator pitch for the Kirtland Hornets. You guys have had a ton of success. You've played in some regional championships. You've been in big games like that. This year, new faces. You've got to, kind of blend those guys in with some of the veteran players. What's the elevator pitch? How do the Hornets look this season?
I think we're going to look good. We got lucky.
There you go.
I think we're going to look good. We got lucky this year with the incoming freshmen and the sophomores. They have played club. They know how to play. So it will be an easy transition for us to show them what high school soccer is really like. And it will be easy for us to bring them in so they can, once we're gone, they can carry it over.
One of the things that Kirtland's been really successful, when you look at the football team's success and having 80 kids on the roster every year, didn't leave many for soccer, but you guys still get a nice number out there for soccer. But the the best thing is you're getting quality. And how much does that help that you guys have kids that have played the game and not only have talent but understand the game?
Yeah, I think it's like really good for us. This year we have like a good amount of like quality seniors who are like 4-year, 3-year lettermen. So I think it's just great, especially this year we have very few amount of kids.
You guys play in a competitive league. You play a very competitive schedule. So outside of just the conference stuff, you're going out, you're playing some really talented teams. How much does that help and prepare you for the postseason?
Yeah, I think it helps us for the postseason. It helps strengthen our speed of play, our the way we move the ball, transition from defense to offense. I think it really helps us and prepares us for the playoffs.
Offensive player, right, Petar? And then your defense.
Yes.
All right. So just offensively, give us not the game plan, but how dangerous can the Hornets be this year?
I think it'd be very dangerous. We have Jason DeSwan, who's I believe 3-year letterman. He's very quick, so through balls and just playing with him, as well as on the wides, we have a couple sophomores and freshmen who can play well.
And then defensively, what's the key?
I think it's just staying as one and moving with each other and really staying composed and not worrying too much, not overthinking anything. And then as soon as we win it, look to counter, see if we can get the ball to our attacking players.
Coach isn't here, but I'm sure you hear him during practice, so you kind of know what he's looking for this year. What has he been preaching during practice so far?
Well, he likes possessing the ball a lot and just playing quick passes, not complicating things, and just like moving the ball, of course, and communication is very important as well.
And you guys open up August 13th, a Friday night football game out at East Lake North, working with the girls' teams there to run a clinic for Empower Sports. Coach let you guys know about that yet? So after the girls' game, you guys are going to kind of help out with Empower Sports and then play your game. What are you looking forward to with that? Just kind of giving back to the community a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot it feels good to help other people when they need it.
Outstanding. All right, that is your 2021 Kirtland Hornets. I appreciate you guys making the trip out here. Tell Coach I said hello, and I'll see you guys next Friday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that is it for our Valley Division teams. We had a few no-shows here. We have the Chagrin Division coming at 3 o'clock, so we're going to take a quick break, and until then, we will be back with the CVC Soccer Media Day live from Independence High School. Welcome back to the 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. I am Steve Hare with Ohio Varsity and the CVC Sports Information Director. Next up are the Perry Pirates here to start off our Chagrin Division preview. So let's get right to it. Coach, make sure I can see you down at the end there. Yeah, you brought a few guys with you. Why don't you go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself and who you brought with you, and then roll into an elevator pitch of the Pirates this season.
Great, thank you. Today we've got senior Calvin Rowan and senior Carter Mells, and also with us is Coach Patrizzi, Perry alum, who's helping us out this summer. So we're excited. It's great to be back out playing. You know, we're excited for this season. The senior leadership out of these guys is great. So we've been training, working hard, and really building towards the start of the season.
Obviously, going in, playing in that Chagrin division, you've got some really good teams in there. What's it going to take for you guys to compete this year?
You know, showing up, that's first, right? We're gonna show up every time. We look at that schedule, and you're right. It's up and down. It's a tough group, but. You know, our guys are prepared. You know, our success last year there. You know, we were in every single one of those games, and so we're gonna go put it out there on the field.
All right, why don't you slide that mic down to Calvin? Calvin, you know, I know your name from wrestling. I believe you're the football kicker also, right?
Yeah.
So you do a little bit of everything for the Pirates, but just from the player perspective, talk about this season and how excited you are rolling into it.
I'm very excited for the season. I think we have a good group of kids. Very coachable kids, you know, they all like to work hard, and I'm just very excited going into the season.
And just from your perspective, like I said, you do it all. You play a lot for the Pirates, but soccer, I know you have an affinity for that sport. Just what does it mean to you senior year, and you know, what are you looking to accomplish?
It means a lot to me. I've been playing soccer my whole life, and this senior year I just want to make it one last run, you know, make it my best run yet.
All right, slide that mic down or just switch that mic there. But going into the year, what are the strengths for the Pirates? What are you guys bringing to the table this year?
Definitely our midfield. Senior midfield, we've all played a lot together. Like our 4 or 3 in the middle have been playing since we were 5 years old, and we just always have learned to play together. We lost 2 crucial center backs last year, but I feel like the 2 that are up right now are just as good as them.
And then just from that player perspective, you hear what Coach says, but how is it that you take that message and you implement it on the field?
Just work hard, like put the effort in every day and know that we want to win.
We can pass that down to Coach. Being an alum, how nice is it for you just to kind of get back to where you started, kind of give back a little bit to the program?
Oh, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. You know, I get to, you know, I played with a few of these guys back when I was in school, and to see them kind of grow up and become amazing players is something that I thought I'd never get to see, but I'm glad I have the opportunity.
And now anyone can answer this one, but you know, 2021 Pirates, every team seems to have its own signature, its own footprint. What is the strength this year? What are people going to remember about Perry?
I mean, definitely for me, I think we got a good core of players, you know, guys that, like they said, are really coachable. We got a strong freshman class coming up with some real good talent, and I think they're going to be a bright future.
Yeah, I think that's great. We would really like for some teams to come in, sleep on us a little bit, because I think we can go out and compete, and I think that's who we're gonna. We may walk into some of those games as underdogs, but we feel like every day we can go out and make it happen.
We talked about the CVC and some of the teams on your schedule. How do you guys, coaches, players, how do you bring it every single day? I mean, what inspires you to do that?
We just look at every team the same, that we can beat them, so we put in the effort. We don't see any team as better as another team. We just see every team less than us. I think we can come out and beat every team, so we know that and we put in the effort.
Everybody talks about Perry football. Perry volleyball had a great season last year. Perry softball, Perry girls basketball has made some incredible runs to the regionals. How do you guys get yourselves into that discussion where it's not just a football school anymore or a volleyball school, it's a soccer school?
Just by coming out and winning. That's what all the parents like to watch. They like to see us come together, play hard, and win.
Coach, maybe your younger guys can answer it as well. But obviously everything starts at the youth level. How close is that program to yours? How do you get them involved?
Well, that's great. I actually happen to be the travel coordinator for Perry. We're putting that together. We're pushing a lot more kids into our middle school program, and we're starting to see that come through. I think it is pretty. It's when I first started coaching travel, these are the guys that were on the team, and so for me, it's a lot of fun to watch them transfer. And so a lot of the guys on the team we've had come through our program. And they've stayed consistent and stayed in the program, so we're excited about that. We've got a lot of players coming through. Perry's not a huge district, so we're always fighting about the other sports to kind of get them out there. There's tons of opportunity on our teams, and so we continue to just push that forward a lot of ways. So I think the one thing I want to mention is games are rarely won by talent. There's very talented teams here. Games aren't usually won by talent. It's won by execution, and so that's really going to be our focus, is going out and executing the game plans that we're putting together. And we have talent, but it's going to be the heart and the work that they've already started putting into the mix. So.
And then just for the players' legacy, senior year, what do you want to leave behind? What do you want future classes to remember about you guys?
I just want them to remember our hardworking culture, our leadership, and just on and off the field sportsmanship.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. We're come in every day, work hard for those 2 hours we have, and just be the best player you physically can or possibly can.
Outstanding. Well, sure can, Coach.
They're gonna be modest, but a team could not ask for two better leaders than these two guys. I would put these two guys as leaders up against anyone in this entire CVC. They are, all summer they've come in, their work with the younger guys and everybody. The whole team looks up to these two, and they won't tell you, but they are impeccable leaders.
Outstanding. Well, best of luck to you guys. I appreciate you making that trip. It's not the shortest drive for you, but best of luck this season. I'll see you out on the field somewhere.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
As the 2021 Perry Pirates. Appreciate them coming out. Next up, I don't know who's coming up next. Might be Harvey. They were here second. The 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day event here will continue, and it does look like the Red Raiders are making their move to the table. Have Coach Sizzler and her crew. The Harvey Red Raiders. All right, Coach Sizzler, I'm going to let you introduce your players and then just kind of give us a little elevator pitch. What are the Red Raiders going to look like in 2021?
Okay, thank you, and we appreciate you doing this media coverage for soccer. I brought here with me, I have two juniors, Jonathan Orozco, a defender, and Adon Torres, our goalkeeper. This season, we have high expectations coming off of a great season last year, and we hope to once again meet those expectations. We've been working hard all summer long, preparing for the season. We just had a scrimmage last week, so we're excited to kind of show off what we have and what we have coming back this year and the young talent coming in. So,
yeah, Coach, I know one thing is every team, to be successful, you have to have talent, you have to have commitment, you have to have coaching, you have to have everybody that believes in it. One thing that I noticed from just dealing with you over the past couple of years is you're holding up your end of the bargain. A lot of coaches don't email, they don't send results, they don't send information. You've got that part cornered, and I think that shows, and I think your players buy in. So I just wanted to give you a nice pat on the back, because it's really nice to see when coaches go above and beyond. Coaching isn't just about creating a lineup and calling plays on the field. There's a lot more to it, and you excel at that. So, and I think your success in the past couple of years is really, it just, is derived from that. So just congrats on that. But going back to your team, and obviously you're not an underdog anymore. People know about the Harvey Red Raiders now. How do you approach this year where expectations are a little bit different?
So yeah, there is definitely higher expectations coming in. I think just making sure we take it day to day and have, set goals that are communicated to our team for every day and for the season, and what we have to do, every day to work hard to reach those goals and attain those goals. Prepare just one game at a time. Don't look too far ahead into the season, and just take it, one game at a time.
You've had some goal scorers in the past. What's your offense going to look like? We'll talk defense here in a minute with your guys, but just offensively, what are the Red Raiders going to look like this season?
Well, offensively, we have returning center mid for us, Julio Espinoza, who, he's played, this is his senior year. He's played 3 years for us, started on the varsity level. He is somebody who is a great facilitator for us offensively. He puts guys in position to score and to be able to finish. And we also have a couple younger guys coming up that are sophomores that I think can do a lot for us offensively. We have a lot of returning midfielders that I think do a great job connecting our defensive third to our attacking third. And then we also have a junior forward that finished the season very strong for us, Marcos, that he should also do well for us this year. He's a great finisher. So.
Well, now let's talk some defense. Jonathan, everybody wants to score goals, but you can't win games if you don't stop the other team, and we'll get to the goalkeeper as well. But the defensive role, playing on that defensive third, how important is that, and how do you kind of feel when your team not only posts a shutout or wins a game, but just how important is that defensive role to you?
I think it's really important to me, without the defense, it's just like, we kind of control the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in the back, we could see everything. So without us, it's like we have to communicate with everybody else to see what's happening on the field.
In the Chagrin Valley Conference, you guys play some really good teams with some really dynamic goal scorers. How do you handle that pressure?
Just whatever happens on the field, whatever happened at the time. Just got to, relax, focus on the game.
As a goalkeeper, you everything's in front of you. When you see that ball coming at you, how confident are you that your defenders are going to cut off the ball, find that angle?
Oh, I'm confident with my defenders. Been playing with them since we were little kids. Our chemistry is great. Just have so much confidence for my defenders.
Either of you guys can answer this one, but just Harvey has kind of been known as an underdog. It wasn't always a challenging game, to be kind to some past teams, but nobody thinks that way anymore. They know that Harvey's going to bring it. What changed?
I think everything changed from the players, just how we see things. I know they have some rough seasons in the past and all that, but right now we just focus on winning. Everybody is the whole team,
Right. And from the goalkeeper's perspective, you're a man on an island a lot of times, and you have those guys in front of you. But when you look and your team is more cohesive than they've been in the past, how does that help you just to help your confidence and to know that it's not just you against 11 other players? Your guys have your back.
It feels good to have people that I know that I could trust to have my back, and I know if I make a mistake, if I pass it short, they'll take it over.
When you look at legacy and eventually you guys are going to graduate, you got this year and next year as juniors, but you want that program to be in better shape than when you leave than it was when you got there. How are you going to ensure that happens? How do you not only build for success this year and next year when you're on the program, but that sustained success?
You just gotta push everybody to the higher level, you can't just put yourself and just do whatever you want. You just gotta push everybody else to the limit.
No, I agree with him. Push our young guys to their full max and work as a team and not just as one.
Coach, wins and losses, everybody knows, if you go 16-0, you had a successful season. Some people might say going 2-14 is a success. It varies for every team and whatever level they're at. What's going to be successful for the Red Raiders this year?
Well, I would say we have a few goals going forward. Obviously, we want to improve as the season goes on, both individually and as a team. I think a lot of that improvement's going to be our communication and kind of our mental toughness. I think that's something that we've struggled with in the past. Last year, I think we did a great job, improving on that, and that's kind of something you'll just have to see as the season begins and how when you get into those challenging games. I think our other major goals to be successful this year, I would say, is compete for the CVC title, and then I'd like to make a deeper run in the playoffs than we have the past couple of years.
You brought up mental toughness, and I think that's one of the keys to sports, regardless of the sport. And in the past, when you've had teams that lack success, they often broke a little bit sooner. How have you seen that mental toughness develop in your guys?
I think it's a lot of putting them in situations to prepare them for that game-like situation. So, in practice, putting them in situations where they, are going to be able to be prepared for that during a game. I think scheduling this year for us is a lot more challenging than in the past years, and we've kind of built up to that, I feel like. So I think a couple years ago, our schedule wasn't as tough. So even in some of those games where we lacked our mental toughness, it made up for it because of our schedule. But I think this year will be definitely a challenge as we go. I think just building everyone's confidence throughout the season is important as well.
And back to you guys. Coach talked a little bit about a challenging schedule, and every time you do that, every game becomes a bigger and bigger challenge. Eventually there's going to be a letdown. You might lose a game, you might get upset in a game, and then you've got to bounce back. How do you guys do that? How are you going to be able to quickly change gears when something doesn't go well?
I think just work hard the next day and focus on the next game that's coming up, not just focus on the loss. We'll work on that, knowing that we have one more year left, work on it next year to see what we made wrong or what wrong decisions we made during practice to focus and keep on going.
Outstanding. Well, I appreciate you guys making the trip out here. It was always exciting to get information from Coach last year just to see the success that you guys had. I hope you can build off of that this year and enjoy a little bit more and keep that CVC really tough soccer conference. The CVC has got so many good teams, and to see more teams stepping up and competing, that's exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do this year. Thanks for coming out. As the Harvey Red Raiders, folks. Next up, we've got Hawken and Chagrin Falls out there, so whoever wins the race to the table. Looks like it's going to be Hawken. So we'll have the Hawks coming up here in a moment. This is the 2021 Chagrin Valley Conference Boys Soccer Media Day. We are in the middle of that section. We've got the Chagrin division here. The Valley division started things off for us earlier, and we'll close out the Boys Soccer Media Day with the Metro division coming up at 4 o'clock. The Girls Media Day will begin at 5:30. And so now joining us, Vlad? Okay, just want to make sure. It's the first time I'm meeting you. So, Lad, we've emailed back and forth a few times, so nice to finally meet you. Go ahead and introduce the player you brought with you, and then kind of give us an elevator pitch of what the Hawks are going to look like in 2021.
My name is Vlad Murasan.
Microphone, turn that
up.
Yep.
My name is Vlad Murasan. I'm the head soccer coach at Hawken.
Is that, I still can't hear you. Did it go all the way up? Yeah, there you go. I heard it flick now. There you go.
Finally working.
There you go.
My name is Vlad Murasan. I'm the head coach at Hawken. Next to me is senior captain goalkeeper Daniel Leiner. We were very excited for the season. We had a pretty good season last year. It was cut short because of COVID. We started later than everybody. We had a good playoff run, got a win away from home at Canfield. Ended up losing to Poland Seminary, who was undefeated at the time, who lost to Chagrin, and Chagrin had an amazing season. But we feel very confident for this upcoming season. We're graduating 10 seniors who will be hard to replace, but we have the talent and the younger players who are ready to step in their time.
You guys returned 3 players that are all conference players, so that's a nice core to build with. how do you kind of get the newer players to be complementary roles for your returners? How do you get those the veterans and the newcomers to kind of blend and gel the way you need them to?
Well, we'll need a little bit of time and a lot of training time and some scrimmages to get the right chemistry. But I think the senior leaders have the right capacity and the right mental skills to bring these younger players, to have the younger players follow them, and together we can reach our objectives.
Daniel, as a goalkeeper, you get to see everything in front of you. You get to see everything to develop. So for you, you're going to see those newcomers and the veterans, and you're going to see who's got to do things right. How do you kind of control the field from that goalkeeper position?
I think this year.
Mike, flip that switch up. There you go.
I think this year communication is going to play a massive role, especially coming from the seniors that are returning in the defensive line, in the midfield, and just trying to keep everything fluid and kind of just keep the ball moving and know where everyone is, during the game.
Hawken has been one of those programs. When you think about boys soccer, it's Hawken's usually one of the premier programs in Northeast Ohio. How do you kind of embrace that and live up to the expectations?
Yeah, I think this year we've seen a lot of improvement, especially from the underclassmen, and I think that we're just growing as a team, and as the season gets kicked off, we're going to see, a lot more drive and a lot more improvement going in.
Coach, without giving away any secrets, every team's going to go into a new year with some weaknesses, and you've got to find out strategic ways to overcome those challenges. What do you see this year?
We've graduated 3 of the starting 4 defenders. So with Daniel and with the new defense, we're going to have to keep clean sheets because that's the first thing you need to do to win games. So we're going to find ways to defend as a whole team because the first striker on the team needs to be the first defender. And we'll try to score as many goals as we can in every game and try to concede very, very few and take the game to the opposition with everything we have.
So you graduated 3 of your defenders. You're going to have a lot of new faces there, but who do you have returning on the other side that you can count on to score some goals?
We have a senior forward, Jackson Goldberg. He's scored the most amount of goals since I've been the coach at Hawken. We have very good midfielders like Alex Zivic, Gage Gretter, Finney Rourke, who have played massive games for Hawken under me, who have the experience and the talent and the football arrogance needed to perform in the biggest games in high school soccer. So I think we'll be able to score many goals, and we have a very, very good keeper, and we'll be able to keep clean sheets, and that will allow us to win games.
Playing in the Chagrin Valley Conference, you have a built-in challenging schedule, but then outside of the conference, you go schedule even more challenging games. How do you keep the guys on their toes every night? And Daniel, you can chime in too. You don't really have a game where you can say, okay, we can kind of bring the JVs up and get them some time. You've got to be on your A game every night.
I'll go first. I feel lucky because I have 50 players in our program. It's a huge number for a Division II school and who has a Division III background. So I feel I have a lot of players that I can use, and every one of my players will have their opportunity to play on varsity and to show that they can help our team. We have a week in the season where we'll play Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 4 games in 7 days. So I will need 20 players. I will need all of them to pitch in and do the best they can for the team because we are a family and we need player 1 as much as we need player 50.
Daniel, just your thoughts on that, just big game after big game. How are you going to be ready every night?
I think it's a big part of it's like what Vlad said about the family aspect of things and coming in, and going hard 4 days out of 7. We really have to stick together as a team and kind of go into each game fresh-minded and, make sure we take care of our bodies in between.
One of the things that as a high school athlete, you come in as a freshman and the seniors have kind of passed on down their legacy. And as you go up into junior, senior year, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind and what do you hope the younger kids learn from you?
I think a big part of the game of soccer is definitely the mental aspect. And, I definitely pride myself and my teammates on our our mental capacity to be able to stay focused throughout the season, both on and off the field. So, I really like to see that mental strength, passed on to the underclassmen.
And then just you guys both can chime in on this one. 2021 Hawk and Hawks, when the season's over, what do you hope people remember?
We hope they remember a team that played football and that transmitted strong emotions to our fans, to our parents, to our classmates, our school. We hope that we can make our school proud by the way we play football. And with a little bit of luck and a little bit of prayers, we can leave the season as champions, whatever that may be.
Any thoughts on that, Daniel?
Yeah, just a lot of what Vlad already said, that idea of, leaving everything we have and kind of exceeding the expectations going into the season. It'd be nice to come out, knowing that we gave it our all and we left everything.
Outstanding. I appreciate you both making the trip out here. Good luck to the Hawks this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the Hawk and Hawks. Next up, I believe we're going to have the Chagrin Falls Tigers here out at the 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. Looks like the Tigers are working their way over, so we'll be momentarily joined by Coach McKenna and the Tigers.
Yes, you too. How are you today?
I am well, Coach. How are you?
I am well.
Give you
We
the
have
fist bump.
Brett Vaccaro.
Yeah, well, have a seat. I'll let you introduce him on camera. We got Coach Brian McKenna and the Chagrin Falls Tigers joining us now here in the Chagrin portion of the CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. So, Coach, as I've been doing with everybody, I'll let you introduce your players and then just give us an elevator pitch. The Chagrin Falls Tigers, what can we expect out of you in 2021?
Do I need the speaker or a mic?
Mike, yep, and then just make sure, yeah, it's on. So, yeah, there you go. You're all set.
Well, one, we want to thank you for having us here today. And today with us is two of our captains. To the very far right of me is Andrew Knockway, a junior. And right to the right of me is Brett Vaccaro, a senior. And we are fortunate to have these two and two others as captains of this team that excited for the potential we have in 2021, coming off of an 18-3 season, a regional or finalist finish last year, and we hope to come back this year. And first and foremost, the CVC is a top goal, and then see where we can go in the playoffs.
Sounds good. I'll start with Andrew down there. Andrew, as Coach said, you guys come in off of a season where you won 18 games. You play in the Chagrin Valley Conference, which has some really good soccer, some good rivalry games, helps you prepare for the postseason. But how do you guys handle the pressure and the expectations as, okay, it's your turn. 18 wins last year doesn't mean anything this year.
With winning a lot last year and losing barely any in the regular season, we're expected to do well this season, and even if we do bad, our end goal is to be where we got last year, especially we're trying to get to states this year, and honestly I think that motivates us that we got beat last year to do even better this season.
And Brett, every team is going to graduate some great players. You guys bring back, I believe, 3 all-conference performers. That sound right?
Yep.
So obviously there are going to be some new faces, some guys that are going to have to step up. How do you take, as a senior, you've got to develop some younger guys to step in and not miss a beat with the veterans. How do you do that as a team leader?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of kids with lack of experience on a varsity level, but just got to keep the intensity up at practice. Make sure they know how it feels to be in a real-life situation in a playoff game. Treat every game like it's a state championship.
Coach, just give us an offensive breakdown. You graduated some great players. I know you have some coming back, but just who do you expect to kind of create in the midfield, and who's going to handle all the finishing for you?
Well, we have a couple options up top. One, Lance Buscher is back again as one of our four captains, and he's going to be primarily working with Michael Maschke, who was our leading goal scorer from 2 years ago. Wasn't with us last year, but it's back again this year. And at midfield, we have Brett here and junior Kenny Clark and Alex Cantor, who is very powerful there in a center mid position. And we have Evan Johnson, and over there on the, he can go on either side. We have Jason Edwards, goes mid, goes defense. And then in back, we have, Andrew here plays both mid, and he helps lead us in the defense. He'll do whatever he can for the team. So we're hoping to have some more finishing than we did last year, although we had a really nice record. We would like to put it in the net a little bit more than last year. And a key question will be for us is how do we replace an All-Ohio keeper? And we have a few guys that are fighting for that spot with senior Garrett Swenner. And we have a sophomore, Sven Nielsen, who also doubles as a golfer. And he got first team all-conference in golf, so he's juggling a lot with that. We also have Andrew Sutliff, a junior, so we have some options at goal. I'd also be hesitant, or don't want to forget some of the other people at our defense. We have J.C. DeRuyter, a senior, and Calvin Struckmarn and Zach Muckle. These are guys that have had time to work with our varsity, and last year got a little taste of things, but certainly this year is when they're going to be thrown in and to the Wolves and see how we do.
Right. Guys, you guys, I don't care who answers this one, both of you can chime in on it if you'd like, but one of the challenges to sports is everyone's happy when you win. Everybody's inspired and motivated. At some point, you're going to lose a game. It might be an upset. It might be on penalty kicks, and it's going to hurt for a little bit. But to be successful, you've got to be able to bounce back right away. How do you guys handle that as team leaders, just to keep everybody up and motivated and ready to roll?
Yeah, I think everyone on the team has been playing sports their whole lives. They've faced tough losses, big wins. You just got to move on. You can't think about the past, and the end goal is just to make it to playoffs and keep winning.
Well, when you lose, it really hurts at first, but then when you come back as a team, it will be easier to win because you have, with us last year when we lost, it kind of eased our pressure, and it made it easier for us to have motivation to go forward and continue to win.
That run through the postseason last year, those games are, I was on the sidelines for a lot of playoff soccer, and they're nerve-wracking. I'm taking pictures, and I'm nervous, so I can only imagine those moments for you guys as players. But how does that help you playing in big moments like that? Well, now this season, you're going to have 16 basically scrimmages in the regular season just to get back to that moment. How did that run help?
There's no games that we haven't played before. Like, we can face any situation since we've made it so far.
And the nerves with this season will help us bring out the best of our play and make us do our best.
And also, I'd like to add in that
absolutely,
we played a couple of those games well into overtime, so they've also have that experience, beating a Poland in the district finals, and then Revere in the regional semifinals in overtime. So they're going to be able to take that experience as well, and playing some of these teams that were ranked in the state ranked, knowing that we can beat state ranked teams. And we played a very tough team, and a team that did deserve to win the state title in Warren Holland last year, but we were playing them toe-to-toe all the way up until the last 20 minutes. So we have some unfinished business. We know that we can challenge any team out there in our division, and we're looking forward to the challenges. But we'll take it one game at a time.
the CVC impact. It's getting better and better. I mean, it used to be Chagrin Falls, West Jogahawk, and now you have Kirtland's made run to regionals. Geneva's come and played, won the CVC title a couple years ago, and just teams seem to be getting it better and better. How much does that help just as a conference where you've got so much good soccer all around you?
Well, it certainly helps with facing competition game to game. There's so much parity, at least in our division in the CVC, where any team can win on any given night, and we saw that last year. And we know that we have to go into each game prepared, and will certainly make us more battle-tested come playoff time.
Sounds good. Any last words, gentlemen? All right, well, I appreciate you guys making the trip out. Best of luck to the Tigers in 2021. Hopefully we'll get some of those cold games out in October.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
and maybe November.
Absolutely.
Hopefully November.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate you coming out. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
That was the Chagrin Falls Tigers here to wrap up the Chagrin Division portion of the 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. We will be back with the Metro Division right around 5 o'clock. We've got, I believe, 6 teams scheduled there. Oh, I'm sorry, at 4 o'clock. So about 25 minutes, we will be back. So right now we're going to take a quick break here at the 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. Welcome back to the 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. I am Steve Hare, the CVC Sports Information Director, and joining me up first from the Metro Division is Coach Natal and the Cuyahoga Heights Redskins. Coach, let's get right into it. Go ahead and introduce the players you brought with you, and then give us an elevator pitch of what we can expect out of the Heights soccer team this season.
All right, good afternoon. Today with us on the team we have junior Dylan Mormile. He's the starting goalkeeper. And we have junior Caleb Graff, who is a starting outside mid. This season we're expecting to exceed potentials and definitely jump after the COVID season where we lost a lot of games that we should have been playing. It's exciting to see a lot of young guys come back. We only had to fill in 4 senior spots, so we're a very big senior-led team this year with 7 seniors. But other than that, it trickles down to a good-sized roster with a lot of young guys and a lot of young talent coming through the system and ready to play and ready to compete.
Let's start with Dylan. You guys, as Coach said, did I get that right? Caleb? You're Caleb and Dylan, right. All right, so you gave me that look like I was, okay, good, all right, my bad. It's been a long day already, but all right, so yeah, Coach talked about a senior-laden team. You're a junior, but you're going to have to play like a veteran with some new faces in the lineup, so just how are you embracing that role as kind of one of the team leaders as a junior?
I like being a leader, having some authority, especially being the keeper, you got to communicate with your guys really, so it feels nice having some guys looking up to you to really listen to you and really want to listen to you.
As the keeper, you get to see everything kind of unfold in front of you, so you're going to have a big role in making sure guys are in their in the correct spots. How do you kind of handle that, as well as staying focused on here comes a guy with the ball and I can't let him put that ball in the net?
I just try to keep my eye where the play is at, where the ball is at, and the guys around it, so I can try to help them, make the best play to either score or defend when the ball is coming towards our side.
And Caleb, as a midfielder, you get to create, you get to play a little bit of defense. Talk about your role and how you've embraced that this season.
Basically, we just got to get up, try to score some goals, kick them through to our strikers, let them get a good boot on the ball, let them dribble through, and get back and help our defense, like you said, get up and down. It's pretty tiring, but it's good to help the new kids learn who want to come in and fill our spots when we're gone. But just trying to do our best and get out there and win as many games as we can this year.
Coach, you return, I believe it's 3 all-CVC performers from last year, so you get a nice little core there. How do you get some other kids to play at that level?
It's easy to get them to get up for games. It's harder to get them to get up for practice, and I think a lot of the young guys who are coming through the system right now are realizing that that's where it's going to come from, is through practice. We are returning 3 CVC. We're returning 2 CVC second teams and an honorable mention, as well as second team All Greater Cleveland striker in Emmanuel. And I think there's not going to be a lot of holes that we need to fill per se in that, because we are returning 7 starters. So we only needed to fill in those 4 guys who graduated. But besides that, the young guys have shown promise, and they're really coming through the system. But I think they're starting to learn the difference between, especially the freshmen, between a rec practice or a club practice and a varsity practice. So they're getting into it now. So they're going to be able to get on the field a lot more than I think they're imagining. Even with the size roster we have, we're pretty platoon at a lot of positions. So everyone's going to be in and out, in and out, in and out, and they're all going to be contributing in different ways.
Dylan, going back to you as a keeper, when you've got, as Coach said, you've got 7 returning starters, so that's real helpful to have guys have that experience and know what they're doing. Where do you see some of the weaknesses, especially on that defensive end, that you need to, you and your teammates have to account for and compensate for?
I think a big thing that we lost was kind of our more physical guys, guys that are not really as afraid of contact, and some of our guys kind of still developing and a little bit scared to get contact with guys. So I think they could, once they grow into it and more guys kind of start bodying them up, I think they'll get used to it more.
Caleb, it's a lot of fun to watch midfielders when things go well and the ball, moves up to the top and you get the goal scorer some touches. But when things go wrong, how do you work on that transition and make sure people don't say, and they give up on a play because they wanted to score a goal? Well, now all of a sudden you got to play defense. How do you make that quick transition?
Well, it's really hard. You're all the way down at the other goal and the ball could already be back at midfield. But this year it really helps to have two CDMs who kind of already back, there to get the first line of defense in before you get your 4 back. But you just got to get back as fast as you can and hope that your defense can make it a corner kick or even a goal kick. That'd be great too. But just got to hustle and get back.
Coach can put you guys in position. He can tell you what to do, but it really comes down to players executing and staying focused and motivated. How do you guys, not only for yourselves, but for your teammates, how do you make sure everybody's on that same page, contributing and giving max effort?
Well, I think it comes down to when someone makes a bad play, you want to help them, pick their head up, give them a, hey, it's okay. Just keep everyone's head up, stay in the game, and for that full 80 minutes, and just got to applaud each other. That's the best you can do. You're out there giving it your all.
Everybody wants to win a state title. Everybody wants to win a regional title, a district title. They want to win the conference title. But people define success differently. So obviously those are goals, but how do the Cuyahoga Heights Redskins soccer players define success this season? You guys can all answer that one.
Well, the biggest thing, the most important thing, it's obviously improvement, for the season, we still got a long way to go before we, go win a state title, so. And, we're not worried about winning state title right off the gate. You got to be worried about the next game that's coming up. So just got to take it one game at a time and be focused on winning your next game.
I think for Heights to be successful is, like Dylan said, take it one game at a time. Always try to put our best effort out each game, win as many games as we can, get up in those polls and go out and do our best in the playoffs. But also, as leaders, we got to help develop the younger guys to fill the seniors, like Coach mentioned, 7 that we have to replace. Just build them up and get them ready to go out and run next year. That's pretty successful for us.
I think a successful season depends on our own goals. Everyone's got that dream of a state title, but it's not feasible for everybody. Only one team can win it. Only 4 can make it to Columbus. So we're going to set out our own goals, and that's going to determine our success this year. We, again, as they mentioned, we're not focused on bringing home any trophies right away. We're focused on August 21st right now. We meet Fairview at home, and then from there on out, it's a game at a time. It's a fast and furious season all the way up until October, and then it kind of levels out for playoffs. You only have to really focus at one game at a time. But we're focused on getting everybody in and getting everyone developed to successfully build a program here. I think we kind of fell off the wayside as Cuyahoga Heights soccer. We kind of fell behind a lot of people, and I think we need to get back to those days where we were 500 and competing for sectional titles and fighting into district semis and going from there, and then we can think trophies. But right now I think we're focused on day by day, game by game, and meeting our own expectations and goals.
And before I let you guys run, one thing I've been asking the coaches about, just the CVC as a whole, there's some good soccer being played, and it used to be there was a couple of really good teams and everybody else. Well, now there's a few really good teams, a lot of good teams, and how does that depth kind of help where going into your league schedule, you're going to be challenged on a game-by-game basis?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can look at the past decade at state rankings through Division II to Division III, and you see Independence up there making a state run. You see Beechwood in the past decade making state runs. Lutheran West was a state-ranked team last year, and Wycliffe is very competitive. So it's good to see that the CVC is getting recognition through Division II and Division III. It definitely makes our lives a lot easier because we know a lot of those games in the CVC are done and dusted. If we steal a point, we steal 3 points, we're right there in the thick of it. You only lose 2 conference games and you have a chance of a conference title. So you got to focus on the little things in those big games to then go off and play your non-conference games where district opponents are just as tough as the CVC this year. So we kind of built our schedule around winning and improving, and then towards that October push, we know that we've played them, we've seen them, we know what to do, we know how to improve, and what we can do to step forward next year as well into the CVC. We're pushing for it this year. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 of us definitely fighting for everything that we have, and then you can't sleep on any team in the CVC because they'll sneak up on you and they'll get you.
Right now. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate you making that long drive here from Cuyahoga Heights, and best of luck to you guys this season. That was the Cuyahoga Heights Redskins 2021 CVC Boys Soccer Media Day. We are going to move on to our next contestant here on Media Day. I believe it is the Trinity Trojans. So give them a moment to take their position up here at the podium. Coach Dominic Buteri. Oh, you guys just fill in anywhere you want to go. Just stay in between that line and the end of that table. All right, the Trinity Trojans. Coach, what I've done with everybody is I just kind of have you introduce the players you brought with you and then give us an elevator pitch. Just what can we expect out of the Trojans in 2021? Grab your mic, make sure you flip that up.
All right, are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So, I brought Matt and Tony here with me today. They're probably, like my 2 go-to guys, seniors, been helping me out a lot. It's my first year with the program, kind of showing me the ropes a little bit. Matt's going to probably play center mid for us. Not quite sure about Tony yet. He's probably got the best shot on the team, so I want to put him up top. But, he's also got some of the better skill on the team, so you want to put him in the midfield, the decisions you got to make.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, exactly. Coming into this season, I would say what to expect from Trinity is just a lot of hard work. We've been kind of going really hard all summer, which has been good. It's been nice to be back and having a full field to practice on. And I would say don't sleep on the Trinity Trojans. We didn't have a team last year because of COVID, but we got some good guys coming back. I've got a few new guys coming in that are going to, I think, be pretty impressive. We're building them up right now, and like I said, I just think we're going to be a team to kind of look out for this year.
Yeah, every team has some challenges coming into a new season. They've got to replace graduated guys, fit in some new faces. Well, you guys didn't have a team last year, so everybody's a new face. So how does that kind of raise the bar a little bit as far as the challenges you guys have to face?
It's been hard, I would say, in the sense of because we're in the summer, it's like I'm not in school. I can't talk to the kids face to face unless they already know about soccer. But these 2 have been very helpful with that. They've been hounding all the guys that don't play a fall sport, getting them out there for us. So I'm very grateful for these 2. Been very helpful.
Yeah, let's go to the players real quick. Just on that question, I mean, every other team you're going to play basically had last year to play. They had an off season. You guys have had one long off season. How challenging has it been to kind of get back into the swing of things and you're at practice and you got to get ready to get out in the game for the first time in 2 years?
Yeah, I would say for a lot of the seniors, all of us drove through all of last year, and we're just antsy to get back on the field. I could tell you, my guy Will and Brendan, we're so antsy. We haven't played in a year and a half. We haven't touched the pitch in a year and a half. And Tony, too, we'll be at practice, and we'll get to see that gleam of the game feel. And we're really just antsy to get back on the field, and it's just motivation to get more guys out to practice, keep building this program with our new coach. Shout out, Coach. And he's a good man. And we're just really, really excited to get back on the field.
Tony, thoughts on that? Just a long time to go in between games.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a while, but I think that I know Matt was talking about some of us that have been on the team for a while, but I know some of the new guys too. We really see their work ethic. They really want to play. They're really into it. I think their attitude matches just as well as the rest of our veteran players here, so I'm really happy so far.
aside from just getting on the field again, what are the biggest challenges you guys are facing as players? You're learning a new system. You haven't played in a year and a half. So what are some of the things that you've encountered already, and how did you kind of overcome those?
Biggest challenges, just trying to adapt to a new coaching system, like you said. I had the same coach my first 3 years here, and he was new my freshman year, so people were adjusting to that. So trying to take that role that a former player, Mitchell, had, and trying to see how they taught me when I first started, because before my freshman year I hadn't played soccer since third grade to second grade, and trying to take that leadership role that he had and just carve some new players like he did for us.
Definitely, I think the leadership is a big part of it, considering that when we last played, we were sophomores, and now we're up at the top of the line, upperclassmen, so we really have to get the new players excited, get the new players working, teach them the ropes of everything alongside our coach.
When you look at the CVC, I made some notes here. Every team returns 4 or 5 all-conference players from last year. You guys come in with 0, not because you didn't have the talent, but because you didn't have a season. So Coach, for you, you're a new coach. You got a bunch of new guys. You don't know anything from what they did last year. So how did you kind of approach this season, just to kind of get your hands wrapped around it and put your footprint on the program?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna look at it really from the positive side. It's kind of been nice, with the year off. Unfortunately, there was a little rust those first couple practices, but then they were more kind of like ready and willing to learn what I was going to teach them, and what my coaching staff is going to be bringing to the team. I went to Wycliffe, so I know the CVC a little bit. I know what kind of goes on in our conference. I feel like with the blank slate, it's been really nice to prepare our guys for my vision going forward. I know he said he's learning a new system and he's adjusting, and he's adjusting well, if I can say so. But I think it's made it a little easier to make that adjustment, with the year off, other than the hounding kids to get on the team without being in the school building. That's probably the only thing that's been tough.
So let's look tactically now. Offense, defense, what are the Trojans going to look like?
I think, I watch a lot of soccer. I've been studying a lot of coaches in the professional level. This is like really nerdy. I'm really into the soccer lore right now. But I think that right now our strength is probably going to be at the back. We got a really good kid coming in at goalie. We've got a lot of our leaders that are probably going to be playing, in the back or maybe more like a center mid, because my kind of philosophy has been, if we don't give up goals, we can't lose. And with the start of a program, I feel like it's a lot easier to teach, where to be defensively than it is like a lot of those more trickier, like combination plays you and I to get to score some goals. Obviously, we are going to score some goals, but the focal point for me, I would say, is some tough defense.
And guys, everybody, I said this with every team we've talked to so far, everybody dreams of winning a state title and everything that goes into that, winning a conference title. But I've got to imagine as seniors, having your junior year ripped away from you, you're just happy to get out on the field. But how are you going to define success and leaving a legacy behind? What do you hope younger players learn from you?
Definitely looking for improvement in the players we already have, and bringing in new players. We really need some recruitment to build Trinity's program for future years. But like you said, it is a lot of getting really excited to get back out on the pitch and just giving that energy and that strength to our younger players. I think will make a great addition.
Yeah, those conference matchups are what I'm looking forward to. When we go back and forth to sports games here and there, you see the same kids. I was the basketball manager the past 2 years, so I see those same kids going to Lutheran West, to Brooklyn, to Independence and back and forth, and I see these kids and I'm like, I want to beat you in the soccer game next. So main goal is beat Wycliffe. That's Coach's philosophy. Coach Ryan and Coach Nick, too, they're excited to beat Wycliffe. And I would say that's the biggest goal, and that's what we're most excited for.
Outstanding. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing missing last year. You haven't played a CVC game yet. So new conference, how exciting is that? Obviously, Coach, you played at Wycliffe, and so you know the conference a little bit. But for you guys, as you said, playing Wycliffe and Independence and Brooklyn, those teams, you're going to see them a lot more. How exciting is that, just to kind of leave a little footprint in the CVC?
Yeah, I'd say it's exciting too. Not that far of a drive to Independence from Trinity, opposed to Oberlin, like we played the one
Right.
time. But seeing those kids from the area more, and you start to build those rivalries. I know with football and volleyball and all our other sports, with baseball too. You hear the crowd, or you hear the hallways, and we're like, oh, beat Independence or beat Brooklyn, beat Lutheran West. We don't like those guys. Oh, beat Cuyahoga Heights too. You can't forget about them.
Right.
But just those rivalries start to begin, and then you get the whole school on your back. And with a small school like Trinity too, you get everyone involved in that way.
Outstanding. Tony, any last words?
Yeah, I think really when you get those rivalries like that, you start seeing so many more students come to the games, getting hyped for soccer. You know, they want to come out, they want to support us, they want to get involved, and they want to join the team.
Outstanding. Well, I appreciate you all making that long drive out here. Look forward to seeing what you guys can accomplish in the CVC. Glad to see you're back on the field just to get that senior season in for you guys, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
That is the Trinity Trojans here to wrap up the boys portion of the media day. We have one more team we're going to do before we cut out. Lakeside Girls, they're coming in and had to get in a little bit early, so we squeezed them into the boys portion of our media day. So we'll have the Lakeside Dragons coming to join us here momentarily. Let's give them a minute. Coach Vallata bringing a couple of his players up with him. And then we will take a break before we get into the girls' soccer media day. But we are live from Independence High School, 2021 CVC Soccer Media Day. Come on up, Dragons. Coach Vallata, how are you? I am well, thanks. Yeah, just grab a seat. Make sure you're within arm's reach of a microphone. You got to go that way just a little bit, or else they're going to cut off half your body. There you go. So, Coach Vallata, what I've done is I've just asked the coaches to introduce the players they've brought with them and then give us their elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the 2021 Lakeside Dragons? Well, thanks for having us. Make sure your mic's on. Flip that switch. There you go.
Thanks for having us here at Independence. And I brought with me our co-MVPs from last year. Directly to my right is Janelle Bryan, senior goalkeeper. And to the right of her is senior forward Sadie Hamilton, and they were both co-MVP and anchored our team in different ways. Janelle helped to lead along with our strong defensive unit, 10 shutouts in the season defensively, not giving up a goal in a game. And Sadie tied a school record with 23 goals in a season, a mark set back in the 2013 season by Katie Candela. So offensively and defensively, they both provided, a good anchor for our team.
And I believe you have 6 all-CVC performers coming back. Is that?
Yes. Yep. Between first and second team. Yep. So along with Janelle and Sadie, we have a big senior class. We also have they're 2 of our 4 leaders. Emily Richards is a senior defender. She's a leader as well. Always tough to measure, defensive statistics, but she helps lead our team both with enthusiasm and intensity defensively. And then the other leader is junior midfielder Grace Stein, who can score and feed the ball well and set up a lot of plays, a lot of vision. So those are our 4 leaders for this upcoming season.
So as a coach, you've just got to be really excited. Not only do you return 6 all-conference players, but up top you have a co-MVP, and on the back end you have a co-MVP. So that's got to have you pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. There's a lot of talent throughout the field spread out. So, they can see things at the opposite end of the spectrum on the field. A goalie can help direct the defense, and midfield's back into position. A forward can help, control the ball, the flow. So, yeah, it's nice having both ends covered. And then, like I said, we have leadership in between them as well, the defensive and midfield spots.
All right, Janelle, let's start with you. You've got to kind of be a coach on the field as a goalie. You got everything in front of you, and going into that year, expectations are so much higher for you. How ready are you for this season?
I'm actually pretty excited about this season, especially it's our senior year. I think we're going to do amazing this year. We're not going to do terrible, but I have high hopes for this team.
You didn't prep her, Coach?
No.
What's it going to take for Lakeside? You guys kind of snuck up on some people last year. They're not going to be surprised this year. They're going to come a little bit more ready for you, and that's both a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's like now you have a little bit more respect, but at the same time, you're not going to surprise them. So how ready are you guys for that?
We practice Monday through Thursday now, and we're all very excited. Like, we all want to win. We all come to practice all positive. And, like, since last year we made it through one of the final games, now we just want more. We're just coming for more, I guess.
And Sadie, for you, a lot of the offense is going to rest on your shoulders. A lot of pressure comes with that. The defense is going to man mark you a little bit more. They're going to know where you're at. How ready are you, and how do you kind of combat that extra attention you're going to receive?
I'm kind of like used to the extra pressure, so I kind of just have to like relax and like realize that I have to use my players and like focus on communication and stuff like that.
From a player's perspective, you have 6 all-conference performers coming back. That means not everything's going to fall on your shoulders. You have some other talented players that you can lean on, but you're going to have some new faces. How do you get everybody onto the same page and just kind of gel together?
I honestly think that when we have new people, as long as we communicate, we can still win. Like, every time we have a new face, we all just work together. Like, we are just like a puzzle, I guess. We all click.
I agree. Like, we have a lot of new people this year, and it's like that's probably our biggest struggle is finding like the team chemistry, because we played with people for like years now, and now that we have like a bunch of new people, it's just about team bonding, chemistry, and making sure we're all there for each other on and off the field.
Coach, that's one thing that you really can't control, is how the team comes together. You can set them up, you can put them in position to kind of do that, but a lot of that has to come from themselves, that intrinsic motivation to come and play for each other. How have you kind of fostered that?
Coach Summers, my assistant coach, and I, we both try to create a very positive environment. We're very transparent in our expectations and goals with the team. We also, just got our leaders in place now for the season, so we're going to use them as well to try to take ownership of the leadership as well. And we're just a big team, like on heart. A lot of it is skill, and you have to keep fostering and developing the skill. But we always want to be – I don't want the team to be the team that came that didn't bring the effort. You can win or lose for a lot of different reasons, some in or out of your control. But one thing I don't want us to do is lose because of a lack of heart or effort. So the one thing I would say is, if you're going to see a Lakeside team or a Lakeside game this year, hopefully you're going to see a very gutsy performance, even if we end up on the short end of the stick.
There are dreams and there are expectations. Everybody dreams of a state title and everything that goes along with that. Expectations are what you want to accomplish, and your goals are kind of get you there. What are the goals that you guys have, both as a team and individually? And Coach, you're obviously just team, but you guys can talk about your goals individually and as a team.
Well, June 8th last year was the first day we were allowed to have open field, and we set forth on goal and on paper that we wanted to win the first playoff game in school history. On October 19th, we realized that goal, defeating Brush in a very crazy shootout. After playing 110 minutes of scoreless soccer against Brush, who had previously beat us in the season 3-1 and had a lot of very talented players, and a girl who consistently won News Herald Awards as well for scoring. So to win that and see a goal, it was exciting for the win, but I wanted the team to see that a goal can happen at Lakeside. Just because Lakeside traditionally has been a one-and-done school, that doesn't have to be the case. If you put forth a goal and want to work hard towards it, it can happen. So I would say we'd like to try to win one more playoff game realistically, win that first playoff game again, which is no easy task and is a lot easier just said than done. But, to potentially, I believe if you won two, it would be sectionals, which the school's never done. So to be able to do that for the school would be great. And, get back there. And just most importantly, we really do preach that we want we're teaching you on the field and want to win, but we're really trying to build really good characters, individuals. So at the end of the day, some people might play collegiately, some people this might be the end of their soccer playing career. But either way, I would hope that we've had a hand, Coach Summers and myself, in helping them develop their character that they'll carry well beyond soccer in jobs, in college, in relationships. So hopefully that's the case, because that's even more important than any of the wins. So,
all right, Janelle, goals for yourself individually and for the team.
For our team, so every year we beat most of our records at Lakeside, and we keep beating them every year we continue playing. And I, like personally, I want to beat my goal of most saves in a year and shutouts. Like that's a new goal of ours that we always love to keep up. We're like, oh, 10 shutouts, 11 shutouts. Like, I don't know, it's just nice to keep up with. But so personally, I would love to keep playing, going college level. I have a couple like schools I can go to, but I don't know. I want our team to continue playing with me, but like she wants to play with me, but she's scared.
For me personally, I hope that our team can continue our records that we've beaten. Like she said, like 2 years ago we beat the school record for how many wins we've had in a season, and then we beat it again this year. And not only did we do that, but it's the most wins like ever for like a team at Lakeside. So like I think if we keep doing that, it just shows how much like we work for it and how hard we do go out there and put everything on the field. Because like obviously girls soccer doesn't get a lot of recognition, especially down at Lakeside. So I think if we keep doing that, hopefully we'll soon get some more recognition. So that's
outstanding. Sure.
So when we played the second playoff game, it was against Walsh Jesuit, who's a state powerhouse, and they've won 10 state championships, I believe, in 20 or so years. Something, almost one out of every 2 or 3 years. And I know the coach at the time had well over 400 wins. But even though we ended up losing that game 0-9, it was 0-0 for 20 minutes, and then obviously they found their stride. But regardless of that, I was telling them it was a beautiful Thursday fall afternoon, and we're playing on the second day of playoffs. So bask in that, because Lakeside is always look them on the bracket, pick the other team to move on. And so for at least in 2020, we can't, count 2021 as a guarantee by any means, but for 2021, Lakeside wasn't one and done. And we got to play at a beautiful facility at Walsh Jesuit, a team that Lakeside would never play normally, with a, high caliber coach and, roster of athletes, and playing that second game of meaningful postseason soccer. So just that experience and trying to change, that don't just accept certain realities, like work hard and say, we don't want Lakeside to just be one and done. And, as you alluded to, Steve, there won't be as many surprises this year. So nothing is guaranteed, and we're going to have to earn it all over, and with even more grit and vigor, because like you said, I don't think many teams will underestimate us. So nothing's going to be given. So we need our leadership as well as every player on our team. I believe we have 21 or 22. Each player is going to have a role at some point, whether it's a bench player with a few minutes or starters that play almost the whole game. And I just hope that we can realize that we can, put the work in to make things happen.
And you get to do all of that with a newborn.
Yes. Yep. Hopefully maybe one game he will be able to get to come with my wife on a Saturday afternoon at East Lake. We've penciled maybe that's the one he could come. But, yeah, it's, and that's where great support, not just with the team stepping up. Assistant Coach Summers is wonderful to work with, and he's very helpful in figuring things out. And then, having the support of my wife and my parents to help with Leo during that time is the only way that I could even do this coaching. So there's a lot of unsung heroes behind me even getting to show up at practice. Everything is kind of really ironed out almost to the minute, as I was telling you in the email. So just to get to be able to do it is a privilege. I love every second of it when I'm there, and I hope that the kids love every second they're there too.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you guys making the long trip out here.
Yep.
Not exactly in the neighborhood, but best of luck to you and
Thank you.
Sadie and Janelle and the rest of the Dragons. I think I was out at your Geneva game last year, right? Is that?
Yeah, Geneva is the in the Valley Division. They're top of the crops, and they're very talented every year and out. So, we'll see them, I think, late in the season, but they're definitely always a formidable foe.
Sounds good. Well, I hope to see you guys this fall, and best of luck to you. Thanks again for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That was the Lakeside Dragons here to close out the boys soccer media day portion. We had to squeeze in the Dragons here. Our girls media day will start right around 5:30. We are going to check out of this live stream. So if you're going to tune in for the girls, visit www.chagrinvalleyconference.com and click on the girls media content item there, and you'll be able to watch that video. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all of the teams that made the trip out here to Independence today.